Hello, I'm Crimson Keep. I'm a Dragon Maid VTuber, and I'm really into The Sims. Today we're going to go through a build that I did in the Sequoia neighborhood, the Growing Together neighborhood, on one of the 20 by 30, 30 by 20 lots. So yeah, let's get into it. We'll start at the beginning. I like to build the front of the house first thing. I feel like if I have a good front of the house built, it's a pretty good basis for the rest of the house to fall into place. I knew I wanted a little porch, I knew I wanted some bump outs in a few areas, and I knew I wanted it to be asymmetrical. I took inspo from a few houses that I built from reference recently, but this one was, let's put together some shapes and see what we can come up with. I'm pleased with how it turned out. I think the second story definitely gave me more opportunity to play with roofs. I've been really into learning how to build roofs and all the tips and tricks to make them look more natural and interesting. So I feel like this build was a really good way for me to test out what I've learned. I feel like a lot of the San Sequoia neighborhood houses kind of have almost like a Willow Creek feel, but elevated a little bit. And so I've really enjoyed building in the Growing Together neighborhood as of recent, when it came out and now too. I do struggle a little bit here trying to figure out how far out I want the roof to go. And we end up deciding on that. I was a little concerned about the pointiness of the roof on that corner, but we negotiate. If I don't like the way something looks, if I move it around enough times, it will eventually come together. Next thing I do when I've finished the shell of the house, I used to make floor plans and then include the stairs as I went. I've learned I kind of have to put the stairs in there very first thing, or I will not find a good place for them as the build goes on. So we did stairs first. I figured set off right from the front door would probably be the way to go. In a floor plan with a bottom level this big, I would normally want to do 2 staircases, so there's multiple points of access, but considering the top floor was significantly smaller than the bottom floor, we went with this approach. I'm playing around with a few things here. I've made bedrooms, I've made bathroom locations, I've carved out a little, I think that's going to be the kitchen on the right? Yes. And living space towards the back, and a little den upstairs. I like making a master suite all upstairs. I think that's really fun. Kind of like a little tucked away space away from the kiddos. I didn't think that this was what I wanted at the start, but we did end up throwing a laundry room in I thought it was going to be a half bath, but the half bath wasn't really necessary in the end, and it was kind of weird access straight off of the kitchen. So where I'm putting that, where I'm adjusting that roof, that ends up being the laundry room. So once I've done the floor plan is when I throw on windows. I knew I wanted to use the Seasons windows. Seasons windows are foolproof. There's many different shapes and sizes. They all match, and they'll go with just about any other door roof set that you come up with. So Seasons windows are kind of a no-brainer when I don't want to think really hard about the windows. I'm normally the type to put a ton of windows in my builds. I got the advice from a Sims YouTuber that I was watching recently. Basically said, wall space is, you need to preserve some of it for paintings, cabinets, etc., shelves. So if you overload it with windows, you miss out on a lot of decor opportunities. So I tried to be mindful of that, but we added a lot of windows anyways. Okay, there we have our foundation. We chose the season's front door. Now, the lighting on this lot's a little strange. The afternoon best lighting is on the back of the lot. So I'm not about to do the thing where I turn the lot all the way around. Other piece of advice I learned the other day, if you're gonna do a two-tone, like, outside of the house, put the heavier color, texture, etc. on the bottom floor and put lighter textures on the top floor. So here I'm playing with a number of colors. They're all pretty ridiculous, but I knew I wanted to use that shingle from Growing Together because it fits the neighborhood. We end up going with green. Green is a safe choice. I liked the way the default roof looked, but it did feel a little strange. It always feels strange to leave the default roof as your roof, so I usually end up changing it to either a slightly darker version of the default roof, or I'll switch it around to... This is the carriage roof house, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay, we got columns, we got stairs. I really like that brick that came with... It came with businesses and hobbies. I've been putting it everywhere. I love the pink brick. Now, I go through a few different, like, floor options. I knew I wanted this, like, what is it? The Glorious Graves hardwood. It's so pretty. If I can do wood downstairs, and I tend to go for carpet upstairs, especially if there's going to be smaller rooms upstairs, because downstairs, where it's more spacious, you can add rugs and stuff. But when you have smaller spaces, like in my, I guess, upstairs master suite, carpet just made a little bit more sense. I kind of regret the carpet at one point in the build, but we'll get to that. Doors and arches. We have Seasons doors. I like the base game doors. I think they're really fun, but like with the different like cutout shapes and stuff. But the Seasons doors go with the Seasons windows. Just like the way the wood is painted. It's only right. I sort of start carving out the layout for the kitchen here. This goes through a lot of different iterations. I really enjoyed using the new counter that came with the base game update. I find it comes in a variety of like really fun colors. But it took some deciding on color scheme for the kitchen as well. I felt a little funny making it green in addition to the outside of the house being green. Yeah, I also sort of... my cabinet shape lineup wasn't the best because I wanted that window above the sink. But as you can see, when you put cabinets above it, it kind of blocks out a good chunk of the window. So the cabinets sort of end in the corner. For now, not my overall preference, but it worked for the situation. Now, I think the dining area was what I might have struggled with the most on this build. We end up transforming it later, but we picked something for now. There we go. All right, there we go. I knew we turned it into another room at some point. I didn't remember at what point in the build we turned it into another room. But I think separating the dining area, even if the dining area is like only accessible through the kitchen, I feel like the way it bumps out, like on the outside of the house, I feel like it was a really nice opportunity for the dining room to be that way. I did make an effort to include not the basic light, like that little tiny light that came with the base game. I usually just put it everywhere in my houses and leave it, but I wanted to try and use actual light fixtures instead of just the invisible ones for good lighting. Things I will always spend too much time on. Rugs and curtains. Rugs and curtains. We go through a lot of different rugs and curtains. I think I even end up changing like the wallpaper again at some point. I don't. Don't get me started. But it felt a little strange going from, like, if you follow the path of the doors, you go from the entrance room wood to kitchen tile, back to dining room wood. But I think I'm the only one that would care about something like that. Why do I take so long to decide on paintings? I find that, like, when I need to, like, if I'm working on a build and I need to just make a decision, I go back to, like, some safe defaults that I use in many of my builds. I like to get creative, and there's plenty of, like, creative moments in this house, but I definitely rely on good old reliable. Like, that laundry shelf. I'm obsessed with that laundry shelf. It is so convenient, and it's so, like, it's already cluttered, so I don't even have to, like, make it myself. But all my laundry rooms look pretty similar. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do I end up picking a curtain for this room? I guess we'll find out together. Oh, we go for the little shades. There we go. That's when I throw in the cabinet on the end to sort of tie it together. And I do believe with the shades on, we do end up covering it up with cabinets. We'll find out. Always have to remember the oven hood. I love that right end cabinet with, like, the little jars poking out. I think it's so cute. Now, I did get to use the kitchen clutter kit that had just come out a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I don't usually buy build kits, but this one, like, I don't know. I just had to have it. It's really stinking cute. So I went through all of the available objects and sort of figured out what I wanted where. Is it a practical kitchen? I think there's only one counter that's available for actually, like, chopping veggies on and, like, prepping food. I think there's only the one counter, but we added the teapot, so all is well. Living room is usually, like, a room that I struggle with finding, like, a common theme for. With this, I sort of just picked things and went with it. Like, if something was good enough, I was like, that's our pick. Like, red couch with blue and green curtains? I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it in my house, but it was certainly fun to build with. And I find that it, like, all the colors that we ended up putting in this room, yeah, they all, like, fit enough, I guess you could say. Now, TV stand placement. I had kind of a eureka moment. I did not know where we wanted the TV to go. I don't like a wall TV. I definitely prefer a TV on a stand. I go through a few different options, but in the end, I end up placing it at, like, an alt angle on the rug so it can be viewed by both the couch and some of the chairs. And this is sort of, like, every build I've done since has had that kind of TV stand. I'm very pleased with finding that sort of approach to the TV stand. I think those are base game chairs. They're not really cute, but I kind of like them. We definitely go heavy on the plants in this room. I mean, I made the curtains vines, and I put sunflower paintings up. Like, I had to go heavy on the plants. Also think, yeah, I don't think I decided on, like, a consistent wood color for this room. I feel like it all kind of is a little mismatched, but there's enough color and other things going on. I don't think anyone's paying attention to whether the feet of the couch match the end table, you know? I do love doing all these sunflower paintings together. I do love having them all in one room. Okay. I come back to a few things in the living room, but I guess we move on to the office for now. Yeah, I used to go through and color every room wallpaper in advance and then sort of use that as my guide for like what color scheme I was going with. Now that I don't know, I'm getting more flexible with wallpaper colors, and as a result, I feel like I'm more flexible with like color schemes overall. Do a lot of it still ends up being blue and green, and that's okay. But I'm pleased with this little office space, how it turns out. I love that ladder bookshelf. It came with the Crystal Creations kit. Probably should have decorated it a little bit better, but I felt like the desk was decorated enough, so we were in good shape there. We used the Businesses and Hobbies sofa with the little blanket on it. I think I throw on the Book Nook lamp. It's a safe bed. I love the way it like arches, so you can like easily put it over the sofa. I think the curtains are from the the decor kit. The the what's it called kit? The modern, the one with the interior design career. I end up going with the curtain and rugs from that just because it coordinates enough. Oh, yep, that's where I realized I needed to turn the move objects cheat back on after taking my break. What plant do I end up putting here? Do I put the Jungle Adventure plants? Interesting. Okay. I don't think they're going to get any light under the stairs, but they can go there. Replacing the fixtures. Checking lighting. I think I picked the same color at the start for the entrance room and the living room hallway room. I might end up changing it. I'm pretty sure I find a rug that I really want to use, so I end up changing the wallpaper color. Ain't no shame. No shame. This ends up being like a dog decor room. We did not put an actual, like, any dog furniture in this house, but we definitely end up putting like a number of dog items, like dog themed items in this entranceway. I knew there weren't going to be any paintings that matched the gallery wall that I put above the stairs, so we went for a mirror. I find that a mirror is like a pretty useful, like if you think about it, thing. Like check right before you go out, you know, make sure that it's, you know, the way you want it to look. Love that plant. More sunflowers. This is where I just start going through the sculptures and clutter and just picking out whatever seems, yeah, like we'll put the trophy there. We'll put the ceramic dog there. You know, just to, I don't know, I guess we're feeling spicy. Rotating the rug. Yeah, here's where I put on the wall plants. I do a ceiling hanging plant, and I do the cow plant from the, is it Comfy or Cozy Gamer kit? I love the cow plant that hangs on the wall. The cow plant. Okay. Bathroom ends up being a weird color scheme. Trust the process. Trust the process. We go through a lot of options. We go through many options. And for some reason I settled on that. So it's a unique one. It comes from the Love Struck kit. I like this floral wallpaper. I'll often do like one wall floral, and I'll do the rest like a solid color. I really wanted to make this sink work. It just wasn't gonna happen. The sink just wasn't gonna happen. I ended up going with the same counter that we used in the kitchen, in the bathroom, just in a different painted color. It kind of bugged me that the sink wasn't centered with the window, but I'm not really that mad about it. We did end up filtering everything by yellow and just putting everything yellow that I could find in there. Can't forget the $50 toilet paper roll. I don't think too hard about this curtain. I just sort of go with it. It matches the color scheme enough, even if it's a totally different floral pattern. Typical bathroom painting, small watercolors, and I love the shower bath. I put shower baths in most of my, especially if it's a shared bathroom, like a family, like the kids are sharing it bathroom. I definitely think a shower bath is the most practical. I get really hype about that laundry basket. It's so stinking cute. I don't go too heavy with decorations in here, but I think it's just enough to be tasteful. Oh, can't forget the bath mat. Yeah, so that's our weirdly colored bathroom that I'm, again, probably wouldn't want it in my house, but it is kind of cute for The Sims, you know? Especially if that's like the bathroom visitors are using. It's memorable. I think I went for a young girl's bedroom here. I went through a lot of different shades of pink. I thought we were gonna go for like the red peach color, but then I found this bed with the cute little clouds, and I was like, we gotta use this one. We gotta use this one. I went with a wall color that I'm not like super over the moon about, but I think the way we end up decorating the rest of it, I went back and added lights. The way we go and like decorate the rest of it, I think makes the wall color not, I guess, stand out so much. Now I do find, yes, I think that's the rug I wanted. It's so fun. I think it came from high school years. God, I always want to use those curtains. I always want to use those curtains. What curtains do we decide on? I even test out the custom content curtains. Dang. Yep, we do those. Okay. Those are cute. They're tasteful. I feel like they're a good child teen curtain choice. Have to test the theater curtain. What do we end up putting? We go for the activity table. We go for the dollhouse. Toy chest. Bookshelf. We ended up moving that bookshelf. The bookshelf too close to the bed felt a little strange. I also had trouble matching the dual wood tone on the bed. Like, only part of it is painted white and the rest is natural. So it was a little hard finding stuff that matched. So I kind of just didn't match. You'll see here my head's kind of in the way, but I went through the kids' rooms and just picked out different decor items because I did not know. I did not know how we wanted to decorate the walls of this room. I ended up just basically copying from one of the stuff pack rooms. I'm content with it. Oh, and I got really excited about I put the little stuffed animal on the bed. I don't know. I was really pleased with that touch. I've not done that before, but I think I've seen other people do it, so I was really excited about the stuffed animal on the bed. Cute. What do I end up putting? I think I put a dresser. Yeah, I aim for the dresser. I wonder why I went with that particular dresser. Maybe just to match the white wood. I feel like I had a lot of colorful items already in this room, so we did okay with a slightly less dramatic dresser. All right, are y'all ready for the dino room? I picked this dino bed, and I do not find anything that I like more than the dino bed for the rest of this room build. So we build everything off of the color scheme of this dino bed and matching dino rug. Truly. Yeah. It's a weird one. But I think this one was meant for like a young boy about the same age as the girl's room. I think I go with the matching nightstands there, and I end up putting the book on a little different one. I don't know why he needs 2 lamps on either side of his bed. I don't know why we made that decision, but we did, so we'll roll with it. Cute. I think we do some of the gaming posters. They're pretty safe. I think I changed Road Rival Alpha to, yep, I changed it to the soccer one. So this kid ends up being like, I hope he likes reading. That's all I have to say about that. Because we made plenty of reading space, I guess you could call it. I very rarely use this chair from high school years, but I really thought it fit like the vibe of the age. Orange dresser, blue mirror, green curtains, kind of out there. But when we commit, we commit. I was really excited to get to use those pillows. Yeah, more books. Little room for stuff. Toy tub. What do I end up putting in the corner? I think I end up putting like the dragon or the dino. I don't remember which one. Oh gosh, the curtains. I'm not overly pleased with that curtain choice, but it matched color-wise. It didn't really match texture-wise, so we just went with it. Yeah, we put the dino named Dragon in the corner. And I think that's that room complete. We got a safe. Upstairs. So I kind of just went on a whim with the upstairs. Apparently I changed the downstairs color to match. I kind of just went with, like, I bought the artist studio kit. So I made a little artist studio nook, which is when I regretted doing the carpet, because I feel like spilling paint on the carpet is like not what you want to do. So I was pretty pleased to find that tarp. I thought it was fun. And of course I picked all the messy looking items that are just splattered in paint. I'm obsessed with that little ladder shelf. I wanted the artist kit, but like that ladder shelf ended up sealing the deal for me. What sofa do I go with? I think I go with the Grim Reaper pack sofa. Yeah, I like that. Another TV. I guess, you know, if you want 2 TVs. Do we throw in a bookshelf? Yeah, we do the businesses and hobbies bookshelf. A window would have looked nice near that couch, but there just wasn't room on the outside for it. Cool. Do a few light fixtures. I end up going with fun ones for the kids' rooms. Yeah, the den space looked like it could use a rug between like the couch and the TV. But there is like, unless there's a utility purpose, I felt very strange putting a rug on carpet. Maybe for some, but it's not my personal preference. Do we pick a curtain for this? Yeah, I try to use the artsy curtains and it doesn't fit. Yeah, I think we go with base game. Yeah, those are fine. Oh gosh. Yeah, I went with a few different ideas for the bedroom, but then once I remembered a certain item, I was really excited to like build this room. So there is a bed. We'll get to, yep, that's the one. It's like a reward item, so you don't always see it. but it's based off of like Van Gogh's paintings. There's the sunflower one, which is the one I would have used if we hadn't already put all the sunflower paintings downstairs. So we went with the, I think it's Starry Night. No, I lied. We went with the sunflowers in the end. Let's go. Those fall curtains are adorable, but I have a hard time finding places to use them because they're so seasonal. But apparently we went with it. Apparently we just went for it. How many lamps do I go through? Oh, I go for the fox lamps. Okay. We have a very fall woodland room. I feel like this bedroom is like very interestingly decorated. It feels more like a guest room than it does an actual like master bedroom. Like it doesn't feel lived in enough by the end, which is like not the end of the world. Some people have like a very like clean approach to the room, but it feels like it could be a guest room or like a very oddly decorated hotel room. Do I make my own little gallery wall? I think I do, because I can't use the sunflower paintings because I already used them downstairs. So, what did I end up picking for these? Do I rearrange this one more time? No jazz paintings. None allowed in this build. This is a jazz-free build. Okay, that's what I end up doing. Oh, that's tasteful. I guess the only room left is the bathroom. Yeah, I love that herringbone tile. It's very... It comes in so many different colors that, like, it's a pretty... I don't know. It's a pretty safe choice. Do I... Yeah, okay. I try a few counters. Do I end up going with the... Okay. Do I end up using the ice cream? What counter do I use? Huh. I would have normally matched those together, but I guess that's what we did. Huh. The woods aren't quite on point, but I'm not mad about it. I'm end up repeating the base game. Yeah. It works. It gets the job done. What do I end up decorating? The hair supplies. And since the mirror does not go above the sink, it goes above the bathtub, but you have a full-length mirror in the room, so I think it's okay to have like a weirdly placed mirror in the bathroom. What rug do I decide upon? Yeah. I toy with a few rug ideas, but like we don't end up using them. How to decorate the shelf. Like, I have all these clutter items. There's no reason I shouldn't use them, you know? Okay. And I think... Oh, we have to landscape. I was like, surely that's not the end of the build. No, we have the rest of the outside of the house. Honestly, landscaping is probably my least favorite part of a Sims build. You know, if it's your favorite, that's great. You know, I support it. Come do my landscaping for me, because I don't want to do... I don't know. I have more fun with, like, the furniture and, like, the color choice. I don't really want to put plants everywhere. Outside. Indoor plants? Yes. Outdoor plants? Not so much. Do I build a deck back here? Yep, I built a deck. I don't know why I took that roundabout way of building a deck, but that's how we built the deck. Pretty much just sharing what I used on the front porch with the back. I don't put a lot of time onto the back porch. I normally like making a pretty, I guess, involved back porch, but today's not the day for that. We have a grill. We have a grill and a couch. And I think I put some... Yeah, I do some more little things back here. And actually, landscaping this house did help me find something that I'd not used before that I was really pleased with. And it's that plant right there. It comes in yellow. This one. So I really liked having that introduced in my build. So yeah, this is the end. This is my attempt at trying to film every room, but it's a little fast. So we're just gonna go through. Cool. All right, we're back. I'm gonna take you through the house just like manually. So this is the front of our house, just to see all the final rooms. Oh, we have a grid on. You have the living room. We have our little entranceway. I don't show it in the video very well, but we end up going with this tan down here. I think it's fine. Adorable laundry room. Please ignore that piece of grass poking out. Pleased with the dining room. More pleased with the kitchen than I expected. I still kind of wonder if I should have put some cabinets up here, but that's what we did. Our little back deck with our cool plants that we found. The office. The office might be my favorite. I don't know. It just kind of came together. Girls' room. We have the boys' room. We have upstairs the Van Gogh autumn room. The sort of strange bathroom. I didn't get, like, since I don't have a sim living in here, I can't actually put photos in. So just imagine there's photos. And the den. The den with the little artist space. So yeah, overall, let me show it in all times a day. It is kind of cute how the porch lights up. I'm pleased. I think it was a really fun build. Considering it took me, I think I sunk like 3.5 hours into it. So I usually spend a lot more time. So it felt really good how this one came together. So yeah, I really appreciate y'all watching my build, hearing me out, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.